Hi, and welcome to the Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele from Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. The Bottom Line is our weekly summary of the previous Sunday's sermon. And we are in this sermon series called Devoted, Becoming a Disciple-Making Church. And we've been looking at Acts chapter 2, verse 42. And here Luke tells us that the early church, after the day of Pentecost, and 3,000 people were baptized and brought into the church, that they devoted themselves to 4 spiritual practices. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, to fellowship, to the breaking of bread, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. And my emphasis has been that this creates the culture for discipleship to happen. That this is the foundation that helps people move from just being believers in Jesus to being disciples of Jesus. And on Sunday, we continued by looking at being devoted to prayer. Last week, we looked at being devoted to prayer, and we spent some time in praying together as a church family. And on Sunday, we talked about, well, what does this look like? What does it look like for us to be devoted to prayer? And first of all, we looked at Luke chapter 11, verses 1 through 13. And in that passage, we see that Jesus taught that prayer should be centered on the Father, on the kingdom. That's the basis of our prayers, is God's will, asking for God's will to be done and his kingdom to come. We saw that Jesus also taught about perseverance, that we keep on praying, that we don't give up, and that prayer is based, Jesus taught, on the Father's goodness, that when we trust that the Father is good, we will ask him for what we need. And so for us as Bethlehem, as a church family, to be devoted to prayer, we're going to follow the example of Jesus. And one of the things that Jesus prayed about that we find in John chapter 12, verses 27 through 28, is that we're going to pray that God will be glorified by what we do through us, that people will see God, will experience the Father. We're also going to pray that God would raise up workers. This is what Jesus asks us to do in Matthew chapter 9, verses 37 through 38, that the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord of the harvest for workers. And that's what we want to do. We want to pray for people who are gifted and to help us do this work of making disciples. And we're going to pray for unity. Jesus prayed for unity, the unity of his followers in John chapter 17, on the night that he was betrayed, that we would be one, and that through our unity, people will know that God sent Jesus. And as we talked about this, and we talked about examples of churches making disciples by starting with prayer, I asked the simple question, are you ready to join us? Are you ready to join us in prayer so that we can be a disciple-making church? And so our big idea, the bottom line from Sunday is this, that a disciple-making church is a praying church, that we can't make disciples apart from praying, apart from aligning our wills with God. And so we need to be a praying church. And our challenge is the same as last week, to take out your phones, set an alarm on your phone for 2:42 in the afternoon and pray. And when that alarm goes off, to pray that Bethlehem would be a disciple-making church, a Acts 2:42 church. We want to be used by God to make disciples, to expand his kingdom. So I hope that you would join us as we seek to make disciples, as we seek to become a place where disciples are made. That is our goal. So thank you for being part of Bethlehem. Thank you for praying with us. Thank you for walking along with us. And I want to invite you again to join us every Sunday morning at 10:30, either on YouTube or Facebook, or better yet, to join us here in Austin, Minnesota, next to Ellis Middle School. Keep on praying and have a great rest of the week, and God bless.